And I want to talk about marriage first, and I want to talk about it as an institution, because I don't think you can really understand why the empirical regularities we see in divorce are happening unless you understand why people get married to begin with. And a lot of the puzzles that we see with divorce, I think, get resolved when we understand why we have marriage to begin with, and when we understand that marriage is an institution that's designed to solve a problem. Part of my talk is going to overlap a little bit of Brad's talk. And in fact, I've actually stolen about 3 slides from Brad. I didn't know he was going to be here, but he's here. But I'm going to confess. But I attribute the credit to him where credit's due. So anyway, marriage is an institution. Oh boy, is that ever small. So I'm glad you've got the thing there. Economics starts off with an idea. And we assume that this idea is universal, applies to everybody at all times. And that's that everybody is selfish. That's what's driving people in an economic model or an economic argument. From a Christian point of view, we can think of everybody as a sinner, right? So economics starts with the fall in the garden. Before the fall, there's no economics. After the fall, that's when we've got economics. Because we're selfish, one of the things that we do, we're always looking out for ourselves. We're always trying to improve our situation given our circumstances. One of the things that all men and women do is men and women like each other. We're attracted to one another. We derive extreme amounts of pleasure from one another, both physically, emotionally, mentally, all those sorts of things. And we come together basically out of our own greedy nature, right? We have sex drives and all these sorts of things. But that leads to a problem. The problem is these nasty critters are often the result of our sexual unions, as we've heard about this morning. Even when we're engaged in contraception and various things, there can be so-called accidents and all the rest of it. That when men and women get together, children invariably are a result. Now that means that we now have gone from a private issue to really a social problem. Because society has an interest in children. A society has an interest in making sure that there are enough children to regenerate its population. But society also has an interest in the quality of children. We just don't want bodies in the next generation. We want responsible children, successful children that are going to carry on and perpetuate our society. And that leads to another problem. The other problem is that that's going to take a lifetime. So here I got selfish individuals. They come together for their own private reasons. Children often result. And now if we're going to have, the social problem is we want these children to be successful. That's going to require this couple to be together for a lifetime. And that butts heads with the fundamental problem. We're back to I'm a greedy, selfish person. I'm a greedy, selfish person. I'm going to be living with this other person and these children in a household. That's going to cause all kinds of problems. Right? And just a couple problems. So, I mean, what woman who lives with a man does not want to do something like that? Want to chain the toilet seat down, right? I mean, that's greedy, selfish behavior, right? I know when my wife gets up in the middle of the night and I hear a splash and a scream in the bathroom, I know I'm in big trouble. What parent has not gotten up in the morning and they wanted to, put their muffin in the microwave and found that, waiting for them, right? Their teenagers were using it the night before. Those are just minor examples of selfish behavior in the household, behavior that causes friction and conflict. But of course, there are much more serious ones. There's an old saying that mothers, babies, fathers, maybe, that we always know who the mother of a child is, but we don't always know who the father is. This creates a problem for men. A man commits to a woman. How does he know that those children are his offspring? The woman might have an incentive to, she's mated with a man, she's hooked up with a man that's sort of on her level, but she might be able to breed up in a sense. She might be able to have sex with a higher quality male and have that male raise her children. That's a problem in life. It's a real problem, historically a real problem, but it's a problem that results from selfish behavior.